everybody, welcome back to Accur8vision tutorial videos. Today we're going to learn how to add in a real zone. Real zones are important because they are what sets off the alarm in the system. All alarm zones can have many different settings. You can turn on the lights, call the police, whatever you would like to do. So we are here in our hardware department. Let's check with Christoph to see what he is working on today. I believe he is working on one of our 3D maps. To add in a real zone, click on Settings, Editor, Add Button, Zone, and OK. From the top view, click on the map where you would like to place the zone. The zone will then land on the ground. Please make sure that the zone is checked under the layers icon. It is not checked, the zone won't show up. You can use the white dots to change the size of the zone. You can also change the color of the zone in the zone properties. When the zone is enabled, it will now be yellow. You can also rotate the zone by clicking on the white dots and holding down the R key. You can also move the zone around using the arrows. You can see that the zone type is set to real. You can give the zone a name, description, unique ID number, which is very important, and an alarm priority. The ID number cannot be the same as any other zone. Like stated previously, you can also set the color of the zones to be different if the zone is enabled or disabled. You can preset a view for the zones. Choose a view of the zone that you want and click on Set Camera from Actual View. When you are not in this view, you can click on Switch to Home View, which will take you to the preset view. This is nice because when you have an alarm, you can click on Zoom in the alarm notification box and it will take you to this preset. The short-term LiDAR snapshot can be activated so that every time a zone is activated, it will take a new picture per se of the area inside the zone. This helps eliminate false alarms. We will go into this deeper later on in a different tutorial. Click on the layers icon and click on LiDAR to see the LiDAR hits. You can also check the boxes if you would like a comment after the alarm clarification, delayed arming or disarming of the zone. This gives you time to be on the zone for a few seconds before the alarm is activated, or you can set a low priority alarm. You can see in the middle of the zone is a logo of a person running. Visible points are very nice to set up special zones. This, for example, can be used around a gate area. You can set up these special zones so that if a certain number of points from the LiDAR is not visible, the operator will be notified. You can tell these special zones from other zones because the logo in the middle will change from a person to dots. The clustering in the real zones coincide with the clustering in the LiDARs. These settings are the basic settings that are in Accur8vision. These settings are based on the cluster max horizontal points, 30, representing the width of a human, while the cluster max vertical points representing the height of a human. The cluster minimum points count is set to 10. The 10 is the number that we use for the ratio in the LiDAR clustering setup. These numbers represent how many points need to be in a certain area together on an object of a max width and height of a human. The bounding box is set to the max horizontal and vertical measurements. Here's where you will tell the system the size of the object that you want to detect. Now it is set from 0 to 500. This will make the system detect everything from a mouse to something big. Depending on what object you want to detect, this is where you will place the vertical and horizontal dimensions. The diagonal limit is the one that we use the most. This is a better way to set up the dimensions. If you want to detect a rabbit, for example, and they are able to be horizontal or vertical, it could change the settings that you set up. Doing it diagonally is a little more useful as it won't matter if the rabbit is horizontal or vertical. You can also disable or enable the bounding boxes. When you are finished setting up the zone, you can now add cuboids to it. Click on the Add Cuboid button. From the top screen, click anywhere on the map to add the zone. The zone will then land on the ground. Cuboids are like zones, but they take on the properties of the first zone. Again, use the white dots to move the zone around. You can also enable a cuboid zone. This cuboid is an excluded cuboid. If you have a pathway or area you allow people to enter, you can use an excluded cuboid or zone in the middle of an active zone. You can see in the example that if you stay in the excluded cuboid, there will be no alarm, but if they go outside this cuboid into the yellow zone, an alarm will be activated. Click Apply and click anywhere on the screen. To test the zone, click on the layers icon and click off the zone. You can see that the person is being detected in the zone area. When an intruder enters a zone, you will see its speed, trajectory, and movements. In an active zone, the intruder will be red. In an excluded zone or outside a zone, an intruder will be green. As you can see, the intruder went from red, which is the color he was in the regular zone, or green, which is the color he is now since he moved into the excluded zone. When he enters in and out of the two zones, he goes from red to green. The reason you want to set the clustering has a lot to do with the alarm. Earlier, there were two intruders inside the zone standing kind of close to each other. Once we change the horizontal max clustering to 100, you see the two shapes become one. This is okay if you only want to activate an alarm, but if you want to know the precise number of intruders or objects, you need to set up the clustering scale to fit your needs. Once you are finished, click Apply. As you can see, we are now back to having two intruders. Under the layer icon, click on the zoom to turn it off. Your real zone is now ready to use.
Okay, you're all set, and now on to the next tutorial video.